Welcome to my channel, you guys. If you are new here, my name is Liz and this is Simply Homeschool. I teach my daughter who is now going into 4th grade and my son who is pre-K and he is 4, about to be 5. I also do school with my sister and her 2 girls. One is going into 8th grade and one is going into 3rd grade. So we are going to have a full house this year. I'm hoping, God willing, that we get to finish up this school year together, unlike this last year. But today I really wanted to kind of show you guys what I plan on using with my son this year. Now, I do want to let you guys know that this has been accumulated over the years. I taught my daughter preschool and my niece preschool, and I also just finished up teaching my nephew preschool, not this past year, but the prior year before that. So I've been accumulating things over the last few years. So if you are new to homeschooling, you definitely do not need all of these things. I have most of them just carried on through the years, and I have added some things for him specifically just because they're things that he likes and things that I think that will motivate him into learning, because that's what we want. We don't want to push it on our children, especially when they're so young. We kind of want to make it fun and more hands-on and enjoyable for them so that they actually grow in having that love for learning instead of it being more like a chore or something that they have to do. So let me go ahead and jump right in to showing you guys what I have planned. Now, I say I have these things planned, but if they do not work out, it is what it is. I will move on. If he doesn't like something, I will move on. And I'm trying not to be so structured, but still have structure. That's really important for me, and the way that I kind of work is I need structure, I need a plan. It just kind of keeps me accountable and in line with what needs to be done. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get started. So I want to get started and just show you guys his little area. This is going to be his section for learning. He has his own desk, his own little bookcase. He has his own cart. So most of his things are over here. I will show you a cube or 2 cubes that I have for him as well in the other cabinet. Basically, over here in this corner, this little bin is all of his Bible, things that we are going to be reading through, and activity books that we're going to be working through. This bin has all of his writing things, so like this little magic colored writing board. He has like this thing I bought from the Dollar Tree years ago, whiteboard. This is like a copywork magic pen thing. I don't know how to explain it, but you guys can check it out. It's on one of my hauls. And then he has like a chalkboard in here, just different boards that we can work through. And he also has these little pocket folders. Don't mind that. That's what we're going to be filling out on our first day of school. But he has all of these. We've been accumulating them, and one of my sister-in-laws actually gave me ones that she wasn't using. So we have those. I have these fun little I don't know, they're not slappers, but they're like if you have flashcards down in front of your kiddos and you're like, look for the letter F, they cover it with this and show you F, so it kind of makes it more fun. We have little pointers, we have this little pizza one, just to kind of make things more fun. So I also have Play-Doh that we're going to be working through this year for more of a hands-on. Let me move this forward a little bit. I purchased this for Christmas a couple years back, and with my son, he only liked to make balls with Play-Doh. So he hated to actually build things or sculpt things. He only wanted to make balls out of them. So we never really used this. So this is going to help him look at the picture, and he's going to be able to use the different shape cookie cutters and then make these little animals and things. So I thought that this would be really fun. So I picked up another pack of Play-Doh. It comes with 20. I think I picked it up from Walmart. I also have some stampers for Play-Doh, and I have cookie cutters with letters and numbers and things. So I plan on working through that with him as well. We have this little daily calendar that I picked up from, I think, Burlington Coat Factory. It was for last year for Christmas. And you just walk through with them and go over the month and the date and the days of the week and the season, activities, weather, things like that, ways that they're feeling. And then they have these corresponding little magnets that he would use to put on the chart above. So I plan on working through that with him. every day that we do school, so he gets familiar with it. Over on our bookshelf here for him, I have binders that we're gonna be working through. Those are all of his like worksheets and some activities that have like to deal with paper and things. So we will be working through those, and I'm gonna explain that to you guys in a couple minutes. I wanna just show you more of the hands-on things first, and then I'll kind of walk through with you how I came up with his unit studies. But basically with his unit studies, I went ahead and went through the alphabet A to Z, and I decided on different topics. So for instance, D is for dinosaur, E is for emotions, H is for the human body. So what I did is I went through the books that I already had on hand from over the years, and then I just kind of added to his little library of things that we'll be working through. So like insects and animals, like zoo animals and things like that, pets, nature. So what I did is I put all of the books that we're gonna be reading with his units in order from A to Z, basically, of what we're gonna be working through. So these will kind of correspond with what's inside the binders. Now I'll go back to the binders like I said, but over here, I have this 3-drawer plastic container, and what I've done is I have all of these manipulatives that I've basically had for years, you guys. So none of this is really new. So this top drawer here is all about numbers and kind of like balancing things. So these are like balancing blocks, and these are balancing blocks. There's some number things in here. I have some wooden numbers that my daughter colored for him. We have number erasers. Let's see, we have number magnets, things like that. We have these little cards that I got him for Christmas last year. You just use one of those little wet pens and you color it, and then it appears of how many. So there's like 7 ducks there, and then we'll count it and match it to the cards. So we just have different like number manipulatives just to kind of make things fun, because I feel like more hands-on things are more fun than just seat work, you know, or worksheets. So basically that's what the top drawer is. We have letters in here, so just different letter stickers. We have all of these little letter manipulatives that I've used over the years. These little flat, what are these called? Rocks? I'm not sure. They're not marbles because they're flat. I forget what they're called. But I have little letter stickers on them because I have like a corresponding ocean scene with the lowercase letters that you put this on top of that I kind of just threw together and made up for my nephew. I have letter blocks that we're going to stack. I have little letter stampers, things like that, you know. And most of this stuff I buy from like the Dollar Tree, or I've bought from the Dollar Tree or Target's dollar section. I just have some like magnetic letters here. I have larger magnetic letters here. I have some felt letters, these little letter beads, the blocks, the old school blocks in here. So basically I have all of these little letter hands-on type activities that I'll throw together for these. I always make stuff up with them. And then down here are like colors and shapes for color patterns, and these are just shapes that I made with colored popsicle sticks. We have some magnets here. What else? I have some paper shapes that I literally just cut out and laminated. And then we just have random stuff, you guys, for more of like a hands-on learning approach. And then again, we have these in the colors, just like we have the numbers. And then that's basically it. We have some like, you know, the colored bears, and then we have these little paper clips that are colored. So that's basically some of his manipulative type things or fun activity type things. I also have all of my busy bags. I have all of my busy bags up here that I've kind of tucked away. You can't see it, so dark up there. But a lot of these we did last year, so I'm not sure how often I'm going to use these, just because I don't want him to be bored with them, but I'll see which ones he wants to do and if he's still interested in it. Another thing that I have for him is, for each one of the kids, myself and my sister, we each have a cart. This cart is from IKEA, and we have a cart. We have the carts from IKEA, and we purchased carts from Amazon. And you guys, if you can get to an IKEA and buy their cart, I would truly suggest it because their carts are so sturdy and worth just spending the time to go get them. And I believe they're cheaper than the ones you buy on Amazon. So on his cart, I basically put like his art type things and his school supplies. This is the Bible that I'm going to read every day to him. I'm gonna pick out a Bible story and we're gonna read through it here. And then like I mentioned up top here, these are some Bible stories. So whatever we read, if I have the actual Bible story up here, we will be reading that like the next day or the day after that, just to kind of go over it a few more times, but with a different book. I like to do that even with my daughter. So I also have just this little, what is it called? Pop-It that I had gotten for Easter for them. And then I purchased this one that has letters. I thought this would be a really fun learning exercise to do with him. And I just purchased a one that has numbers, and I believe it's 1 through 30 because the 100 one was sold out, but I did the 1 through 30 and then it has shapes at the bottom of it. So I thought that these would be really fun for him since he already enjoys this one so much. And then on the second shelf here, we have Manipulatives, so that when we're doing things that he needs these, he'll have a large choice into which ones he wants to use. And again, these were used for my daughter and my nephew, so we've just kind of accumulated them over the years. Something else, see, this is another one I have. This is all just like manipulative stuff. So something else I have is my friend made me, or my son, this cute little dish, and then she made us these letters. So there's lowercase and uppercase letters in the different tones of blue, and she also did numbers for us. So we are going to use these manipulatives this year, just to kind of make it more fun, hands-on, and I think that he'll really enjoy using these. So I thought that that was super sweet and cool of her to make these. So just to kind of give you guys an idea of things that I use for manipulatives, these are some of them. And then we have these things here. And most of these I think I bought from the Dollar Tree, you guys. And then I have this large one. So literally, you guys, you can use anything little. And I would suggest, I mean, if you guys have little ones that like to put things in their mouth, make sure you guys are with them at all times, just because it only takes 1 second. But you guys know that because you guys are mamas. But literally, you can use anything. And these make it so much more fun. Like if you guys are doing specific counting games, or even if they're trying to cover something, say you again have some sort of flashcards out and you want them to answer it, they can always put their manipulative on top of the flashcard just to kind of, you know, give them something to do with their hands. I think that that is super helpful when you have younger kids. All right, so the next level here on the cart, we have our number flashcards. They're really large. And then we have our letter flashcards from Abeka, and then the smaller ones here. And then these also were passed down from, you know, my niece. And so we always just, we hold on to things, you guys, but it always comes in handy. These are all of our flashcards that I've purchased from like the Dollar Tree. And it's all letters, numbers, animals, opposites, different emotions, shapes, colors, things like that. So I always figure out little activities that we can do with the flashcards. Instead of just going through the letters or numbers and telling them what they are, that kind of gets boring and repetitive for them. So I try to always make that more interesting. So I have this cabinet over here, and the 2 top drawers are designated for my son. Now this little cubby here is pretty much all of the themed type things that we're gonna be working through. So for instance, M is for Minecraft, and he has these little Minecraft cubes that we'll use. These are just different insects, the different stages in their lives, and we'll use this. So these are pretty much everything we're just using with our units. And then what I did was all of the workbooks and stuff I put in order. See this little skeleton I took apart a couple years ago for my nephew to teach him the skeleton and the bones and all of that and the body parts, and so I held on to it. So we'll use this for human body, and we'll put it together basically. This is just like a little wooden shuttle, and we're gonna use it when we do Galaxy for a space shuttle. And then we have like stuff for pets. So here's like a pet party sticker book that I've just purchased from the Dollar Tree, and it's just like a little activity workbook that's for fun. It has numbers in it. You get to count the candles, stuff like that. So I kind of accumulated some stuff, and I purchased some things that can go with his units according to what I chose that he'd be working on. And then just in the back are some workbooks that I've purchased to work through with him, like the science pre-K through DK. And then the geography we'll just work through once in a while. We have like this little science book to go through. And that's basically what this drawer is. So it's everything that I'm going to use according to his units. And then everything over here is just basically things that don't really have a place. So for instance, like these are all art projects back here that we've saved and didn't work through Rebecca for, I think it was kindergarten and first grade. So we held on to those. There's some little workbooks here, letter boards. He has his little blocks that have letters. He has ones with numbers and shapes. And then just his large dice, his little candles that we use for counting and decorating when we're doing Play-Doh. That's what I used for my nephew, and he loved it. We have some little Play-Doh stamps that have letters. And then here's some more just little workbook pages for cutting and pasting and stuff. So this is kind of just like a catch-all type drawer where I didn't really have a specific place for it. I just purchased this from the Target Dollar Spot. I love this. They're the plastic pieces that you turn into letters. So I thought that that would be fun. So that's basically what I have in his two drawers here. Back here, I'm gonna kind of walk through with you guys and show you what I have for his units according to like using his worksheets and worksheet activities. So starting in my first binder here, what I've done is I created a planner for my pre-K-er and also for my daughter. And if you guys want to check that out, I have the flip through down below in my description. But what it is I created this little list for myself, A to Z, and then I chose different units that I thought that my son would really enjoy using to go according to each letter we were on for each week. So basically A is Arctic animals, B is beach, C is cars, D is dinosaurs, E is emotions, just like I explained to you with the books over in the bookcase. That's how I kind of corresponded them with his units. Now once I decided what I was going to use for him for these specific letters, so then I went on to Pinterest and I found some worksheets that kind of corresponded with that and some activities. So basically what I did was I went through A to Z and I prepared each one of these little folders for him so that it's super easy for me to do once we are on the next week. I'm not scrambling and looking for stuff. Now it did take me a little while. I didn't do it all in one day. I sat literally for months, probably, I'd say a couple months, and just did a little bit here and there. Or like if I was in bed and, you know, searching Pinterest, then I would just pin it and then I would go back and print it out. So basically what I did for the letter A is here is the Arctic Animal printable pack that I found, and it had all these cute little activities that he can do. So this is the count the animals, we have trace the letters, we have an uppercase of trace the letters, we have trace the numbers, just different worksheets. Now I'm not sure if he's going to be working through all these. It depends on how much he enjoys it. But I will definitely have him do some of them just because for kindergarten I want him to be ready and I want him to know how to use the pencil and things like that. He's really not into writing right now and he's not into coloring, so it kind of worries me a little bit, but I know that he'll get there and I know it's all in his own timing. So here's just some trace the letters that have to do with the different Arctic animals. A few pages there. Circle the odd one left out. Let's see here. These are a coloring activity. And so they kind of just had different little activities that go along with Arctic animals. Now the ones that I had to cut out, you can see here I didn't do this one, but some of them I did have to cut out, like for instance, so these are going to be clip cards, but I'll be using the Manipulatives for these. And I used to laminate them because I knew that like I had my son and I knew that I'd be using them again. but now he's my baby, and I'm not having any more kiddos, and I don't have any younger nieces or nephews that I think I'll be teaching at any time. So I'm not laminating them just because I know that we're only going to use these the one time. So anyway, so I went ahead and I cut out some of the things that needed to be cut out just so that it would help me when the time came and I was being pulled in a million different directions while doing school with all the kids. But there's like these sequencing cards for, you know, smallest to largest. So I thought that these would be fun for him. You know, pretty much just stuff like that. Little fox roll-in cover that I had purchased. I purchased a bundle through Grace and Grit. I know she's a part of like a bundle kit that you can get for each season. I can't remember. I think this was for the Christmas one, honestly. But I thought that this one would be fun. We've played it before, so I just put this in here. I found this really cute little Arctic fox activity that you just cut out, or I'm sorry, it's a craft. You cut it out and you glue it together with his handprint. So I thought that that would be fun, so I already printed that out. And then what I did for each letter is I went online and I found, because you can do letters, you can build like letters with paper, and then you can either have like for instance, alligator is usually for A, and it looks like an alligator mouth. You guys have probably seen it, has teeth and everything. But I wanted to try to stick with the theme that we're using. So I just cut out an A for him and I have him glue it on the paper. And then I cut out little pieces for him to turn this into a penguin for Arctic. Because it's an Arctic animal. So that is basically how I figured out I was going to do each lesson. Now they are different, and some of them I didn't see what I was really looking for, so I created some things myself. But that's basically what I did. I wanted to make sure that there were some things that he can trace, some activities he could do with counting, and then P is for pet. These are some other ones that I kind of put together. So we have this little bunny here. And with the bunny, I had to do a bunny, you guys, because we have a bunny. The one that goes with the bunny are these little carrots. So we're gonna count the carrots for the bunny. And so that one will be really fun for him. And then we have this one that says, let's add spots to the Dalmatian. So I was thinking of using his finger and using paint or ink, and we could roll a dice or draw a number out of like a cup or something, and he can put the number of spots on him. I couldn't find a completely white Dalmatian, so I know he can add to that. Or instead of using his finger to have more space, we could use like the back of a paintbrush or something. Another thing that we have here is this little bunny. And with the little bunny, what I'm going to have him do is we have little white pom-poms, and I'm just going to have him glue them onto their little tails just to kind of do like a pasting type thing. And let's see here, this one is just a cut, so he's going to cut the different pattern here. Another one we have is a bird parts worksheet. So I have all of these different parts of the bird, and we're going to cut it out, talk about the bird, and he'll glue them on there. And then we have a dog parts worksheet, same thing. We're going to cut these out and we're going to paste them on there. And then I just have this little bunny page that he could color. I have these little bunny match cards. I know we have a lot of bunnies because we have a bunny and he loves our bunnies. So we're gonna just lay these down and he's gonna play match with these. And then what else? These are just like size sequencing. So he's gonna put it from smallest to largest, and I just did different types of animals. And then what else do we have here? We have these little cards. And then these cards that show different houses. So he's just gonna match the bird to the bird cage, the fish to the fish bowl, and so on. So we have that. I made these little clip cards, and these are just different animals and their foods or homes or supplies, whatever they have. And we're just gonna put a manipulative over the letter that corresponds with the beginning letter of the photo. What else do we have? And then we have this little dog bowl. We're gonna put a little number there. We have the little eraser numbers that I'll probably use. And I also have regular paper numbers if you guys want this one and you don't have anything to use. And then he's just gonna count out the bones and put them inside the dog bowl that corresponds with the number up there. All right, you guys, so that is it for today's video. I hope that it was helpful to you guys, kind of giving you a variety of different resources you can use for your kiddo. Again, you do not need all of these things. You can start off with more worksheets. You can start off with more crafting learning. You can start off with manipulative type things or activities and see which way your child is led. You know, what interests them. Now, I just have these, again, because I've taught multiple kids with these things and I've just accumulated over the years, and I didn't ever get rid of it because I knew one day I'd be teaching my son. Also, something that I did not show you guys, I have a collection of sensory bin type things. So just different like plastic character type items like farm animals, zoo animals, ocean animals, horses. What else do we have? We have like transportation type cars and like construction cars and airplanes and jets and things like that for transportation. We also have different types of like little animals. If you've ever seen those little critter, I forget what they're called. They're like fuzzy little critter toys. And my daughter used to play with them, and I didn't want to throw them away or get rid of them, so I put those in a sensory bin that I will use with him. We also have like foam letters and foam shapes and foam numbers, and I usually throw those in bins. We have like noodles, rocks, strings, pom-poms, cotton balls, things like that. And then I just get those little white dish pans from the Dollar Tree, and I'm pretty sure you can get them from Walmart. And you literally just pour in like either the pom-poms or cotton balls, anything like rice, beans, stuff like that. And then you can add like the different characters or the different foam letters or shapes and things like that. And you turn that into a game, and they love sensory. And literally, you guys just give them some like measuring cups, some spoons or kitchen utensils, some cups, and they'll just pour things back and forth. We also do like the ocean themed sensory bins, and I will put water in it for him, and he'll just pour things in different cups and use spoons, and it's really good for fine motor skills. So anything like that, that is them learning, even though it doesn't seem like they're learning, but they really are. So I hope that this was helpful to you guys in some way or another. I'm hoping that I'll be able to do some day in the lives this year, depending on how hectic it is. There's going to be 4 kids and 2 adults, and that can be quite loud sometimes. So I'll see how it goes. I'm hoping I can do a few here and there, but just kind of to show you guys how we work with my son throughout the day. It's not going to be a full day. It's going to be probably, you know, 15, 20 minutes here, 15, 20 minutes there. It's not going to be crazy at all. So just to kind of get him more familiar with how we do school and having some sort of schedule for him, because we previously were just more of like a child led. He'd come out, we'd play and do things, and I'd give him some activities to do, and then he'd leave when he wanted. But now I kind of need to tell him like, okay, we're going to do school, you know, and expect him to sit with me until I say, okay, it's time to get up. Now, don't get me wrong. He's going to have ants in his pants. He's running out here as we speak, and it's definitely going to be, you know, him dancing around the desk and stuff. But just as long as we get some learning in, I will be confident and comfortable with knowing he'll be ready for kindergarten. So with all that being said, thank you guys for hanging out with me today. If you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button and the like. Leave me a comment down below. All right, you guys, be safe, be blessed, and I will see you next time. Bye.
World had more of your smile. What if the wind could spread your love? What if your sweetness could reach everyone? There'd be no wars,